This is a short story. I want to hear more. Okay, one more thing. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the like button. It will make sure that more beautiful public domain stories get produced for you to enjoy. Okay, here is another beautifully narrated story about a queen. In the days when the rulers of men were yet to learn the ways of greed and selfishness, the Queen Ticciata ruled over a powerful empire. She was admired by all her subjects, men and women, for she had a noble heart and was possessed of wisdom far beyond her years. In spite of her tender age, the queen was considered a living goddess on earth. For while her people were afflicted by drought, famine, or floods, she alone seemed to know how to placate the gods and bring prosperity to her realm. People whispered that Queen Ticciata could converse with the gods themselves, and many were the tales spun about her divine powers. Once, when her empire was ravaged by a terrible drought, the queen sacrificed herself and allowed her life force to flow into the parched soil. Overnight, the land was blessed with abundant rain, and when her people went out to search for their benevolent queen, they found her lying dead on a nearby hill. However, since Queen Titaya had given her life for her people, the gods in their benevolence brought her back to life. Sure enough, the next morning, the queen awoke once more to the sight of a new day, but her body now glowed with a golden radiance, and she was endowed with powers and wisdom beyond measure. And so she continued to reign over her people, dispensing advice that was sought after by gods and men alike. Her rule lasted for 60 years, and during that time, she never once strayed from the path of righteousness. After her long and illustrious reign, when the time came for her to leave this mortal plane, she did not fear death. She summoned all her people and told them that when she breathed her last, they should cremate her on a funeral pyre made of precious metals. Moreover, her attendants were instructed to pour gold coins from her windows so that her people could share in her wealth. Then, holding her head high, the queen breathed her last, and her faithful attendants wasted no time in setting her royal corpse ablaze with torches made of resinous hemp. Flames as tall as red-hot copper pillars shot up into the air, and the entire funeral pyre blazed forth with renewed vigor. Seeing the pyre from afar, the god Horus became enamored with the queen's indomitable spirit and approached her funeral pyre to offer his divine blessings. The other gods, too, came to pay their respects to the departed queen. They were happy to see that even in death her radiant form was untouched by the flames. So they decided to take her away to the hall of the gods, to be with them forever. With that, the gods blew on the flames until they died down, and when they opened the queen's golden coffin, lo and behold, they found the queen looking as alive as ever. But instead of her usual robes, she was wrapped in a shroud of gold. The gods carefully lifted the queen from her coffin and deposited her amongst themselves. The queen sat on a throne made of pure gold, and the gods presented her with the symbol of their power, a golden crook and flail. Thus, the queen, who had lived among humans as a goddess, was received among the gods themselves. Overjoyed at the prospect of joining the pantheon of the gods, Queen Tiada prostrated herself at the feet of Ra and proclaimed, "O, Lord of the sky, I am your servant. I have come from the earth to the sky. I am your daughter. O, King of the gods, let me be counted amongst your company." Hearing these words, the gods rejoiced and welcomed the queen into their fold. From that day onwards, Queen Tiata was deified, and her memory continued to live on among the mortals below, ensuring that the tale of the righteous queen would never be forgotten.